what I'm interested in is what is a response to something like this? Julia made a very succinct point. It was pretty much took the words out of my mouth as I was listening at home earlier today. We get into that territory of whether someone's mad or bad. You then get into the it wasn't, and if you notice, both sides play this game. We're not treating it as a terrorist attack. We might be treating it as a mental health issue. Now, of course, you could argue all acts of barbarity are terror acts, but in this respect, the definition of terrorism is clearly something else. And then, of course, the left will say, if that was somebody from the right, they'd have called it terrorist, and the right say the opposite, blah, blah, blah. There's no point in going down any of those rabbit holes at the moment. But I do sense that whether this person is mad or bad, and again, we don't know this for sure, but you can almost bet that they were kind of known to the authorities. Almost invariably, they are known to the author. How many times, how many stories have we seen of somebody who's carried out an act of barbarity? Whoever it turns out is responsible, whether it is a person that's been arrested or whether it's decreed that actually there was somebody else involved. Who knows? Mad or bad, regardless, possibly both, almost certainly both. I would bet the person is known to authority in some shape or form. Whether that is the police or whether it is social services, in some shape or form, I bet you there is a red flag floating above the person's name responsible for this. And I think it's for that reason why I ask the question, how should the government respond to this? Because we have seen on so many occasions, and I know there is inevitably there is a point of speculation in any kind of crime until you have the fuller details. But I think, to me, the wider issue is that this cannot go unspoken. We can't ignore the fact that 3 children, and we know a girl aged 9 has the latest casualty that was announced an hour ago. A 9-year-old girl, a family are without their daughter. Their lives will never fully, they will never recover from that in any shape or form. And as was said earlier, you know, you send your kids to clubs. My little boy went to like a cycle, my 5-year-old, learning to ride a bike properly, went today. I'm getting videos of him on his bike. He's at a club, and the only people in that club are kids who are, 4, 5 and 6. They're little kids. And you send them to these things, and you trust the people who are involved, and you hope that nobody comes crashing through the door with a machete, deciding to kill children. I don't even know where we go with that. Well, I mean, it is so, it's called it almost, it's beyond barbarity. It's another level of abhorrent horror. It just, I honestly don't, the fact this was a Taylor Swift dance party for the kids in their summer holiday. You know, that adding the word Taylor Swift to it kind of almost, for me, kind of compounded the sheer level of innocence, because I was thinking, little kids, mainly little girls perhaps, in that area going, wow, it's a summer holiday, we're going to a Taylor Swift dance party. Not any old dance party. The excitement the night before they attended was probably off the scale. Their parents taking them there, dropping them off, their little faces as they waved goodbye. And then this. How does a government respond to that? 0344 499 1000. Do we get tougher on what? Because, the irredeemable reality is no matter what kind of laws you have in place, even in China and North Korea, there are horrendous people who do awful things. Despite the full might of the law and executions and prison camps, the likes of which you couldn't even make up, they're so horrendous, they still have horrendous crimes take place. Maybe not as regularly. But here in the first world, here in the United Kingdom, how do we deal with that? What is our response? What is a government's response to that? We have a new government. We have a new Home Secretary. Yvette Cooper was there in Southport a little earlier laying flowers. I understand the Prime Minister is visiting later today. What is their response to this?